the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Joe, how do you think, Joe? What can you show about this girl I know? About this girl called Mary Jane. About the way she used to kill 'em with the show. Kill 'em with the kill them pretty girl there. She got that shaku, got that katika. Every night and day, up before 20 p.m. Everybody say, gotta be a lane, you chasing a Mary Jane. Chasing a Mary Jane, you chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane, cause I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane, you chasing a Mary Jane. Chasing a Mary Jane, you chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane, cause I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane, you chasing a Mary Jane. She chasing a Mary Jane, she chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane, cause I really like it. Man, I really like it. Yeah, man, I really like to dance. Really like to move my body like that. Really like to dance. Really like to move my body like that. Okay, najua unapendanga energy drink, lakini ukitaka mali safi ende chain. Kuna manziana everything you need. Gotta break your back, gotta break your back, gotta break your back until everything don't be leveling. Girl so sweet, they be jealousy. Everything about you is so highly. I know you know they know you got nice energy. I keep songa. Every time so exciting. Now what lie, you mesmerizing. Nice energy. I keep songa. That is why Mary Jane makes you feel some type of way. Gotta be a lane, you chasing a Mary Jane. Chasing a Mary Jane, you chasing a Mary. You chasing a Brandon, Jerry. You chasing a Kendra, you chasing a Abby. You chasing a Erika. You chasing a Lynn, you chasing a Tracy. You chasing a Dodo. Now Warembo,
It's been a really long time, tangu nikuvutie. I only called today, but I think about you every day. Najua nilichoma, yeah. I take the blame. Juu tangu iyo day, I've never been the same. Find me at B&D off late kila weekendi. Nimekosana na wengi, lakini sisi I'm regretting. I know you know me well, usikate juu niko mlevi. Please don't hang up on me, niache niseme ukweli. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo upande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Hata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I'm not stalking you, niliona umepost pictures are cost. Your new man doing the most. You seem happy, you seem so happy. Called to let you know I'm taken, but available for you. Bestie, we nirudishie phone, cause you don't understand what the hell is going on. Kilimani reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Hata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo pande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Ata wakupende aje, utahepa someday. I've been upset cause no one loves me better. Ata wanipende aje, na wapenda shingo pande. I know you're upset cause no one loves you better. Ata wakupende aje, utahepa someday.
Reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. She needs to know what's in my heart. Oh, reminds me I'm alone. Oh, I need to call her now. Needs to know what's in my heart.
Nobody else can match my energy. Cheesy come my head. Cheesy come my head. GL.
Nani cheesy kama yeah. I've been faded, I've been naked, in different places, many faces, X-rated, yeah. I've been patient, I've been waiting. No other one that's come around can do the things you do. Who keep come around, we smoke a lot, Canadian pot, cheese and bomb. Catch your wine, dance along, bounce along, baby, bounce along. Wine and dine, made your mind, it's a clear sign that no other one that's come around can do the things you do. Nobody else can match my energy. Cheesy come my yeah. Cheesy come my yeah. We up all night and still we tryna be busy on the AM. Cheesy come my yeah. Cheesy come my yeah. Cheesy come my yeah. Oh yeah. Cheesy come yeah. Cheesy come yeah.
I've been faded, serenaded, celebrated. Ooh, very patient. See, I'm not so complicated. Ooh, kakwama on my mind. Your toes are juicy, align. Moyo kapiga sign, kisha underline. Only free because you let me be. That's the love I want for me. Lama tamu soda baridi. Can't deny the chemistry. Ukakwama on my mind. Tuka alive. Tuka bigger sign.
Nobody else can match my energy. Cheesy come yeah. Cheesy come yeah. We up all night and still we tryna be busy on the AM. Cheesy come yeah. Cheesy come yeah. Oh yeah. Cheesy come yeah. Cheesy come yeah.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
System ya Kapungala. Papa Fololo, the king of Kapungala. Kapungala Ngala.
Oh, we. Hey. Ay.
zote mina tupa nyuma. Hata tembo na sigara kubwa zote mina tupa nyuma. Kusema sema na kutia tumbe zote mina tupa nyuma. Kukuna mlungula na kutoa pia mina tupa nyuma. Nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu. Oneni tukisote nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu. Fuata nyayo zangu nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata. Hey, yuni na kutia tope zote mina tupa nyuma. Hata kuna na kukata waya zote mina tupa nyuma. Kunoga noga na kudona dona zote mina tupa nyuma. Ulevi mina tupa nyuma. Nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu. Oneni tukisote nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu. Fuata nyayo zangu nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata Yesu, nipote mimi nikimfuata. Hey, ninapenda watoto, ninapenda kuimba, ninapenda kuenda church na kuomba ndimi nitakatakata. Ninapenda kumtoa, ninapenda kusifu, ninapenda kuenda church na kuomba ndimi nitakatakata.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, a very good morning. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning it is on this side of the Sahara. The city under the sun is Nairobi. I am coming to you live from the 254's capital, Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so much for everybody who's tuned in to our show. My name is Wanyoike, and I officially welcome you to cruise with us on this Power Morning Drive show ship from 8 a.m. all the way till 10 a.m. Kama kawaida, you know how we do. I have to let you know how you can get in touch with us. We are at Power Radio across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as the infamous X, because, you know, we got to be there. We are also on our YouTube channel at Power Radio. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly love yourself enough. Head out to our YouTube channel and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be in the know. Whenever we go live, you are definitely notified. Also, you can find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. But before we get any further, let me get you to work because me nimeshafika. We start off with the day's traffic updates, and of course, I always start with the high and mighty Thika Road. As always, bumper to bumper, crazy. Today, imeanzia Kenya School of Monetary Studies hapo around as you go just before. After KCA University as you go towards Thika, and it imeshikana all the way down till Muthaiga, Pangani, ishikane na Muranga Road as well, so that you guys can have a hard time getting into town. But Poleni, you will be out of the woods in no time. Limuru Road is also looking quite hectic this morning, all the way from Village Market down towards Muthaiga as well. The intersection, things are looking not so pretty on your end, but soon you will be out. Inafunguka tu pale as you go towards Aga Khan Hospital. The same case is going on for Lower Kabete Road as well. I can see that from Zen Garden, mambo ni bumper to bumper imeshikana all the way down to the Novotel Nairobi Westlands. Hapo tu ndipo traffic kidogo inaacha kusongamana, pia inashikana hapo Sarit, and then you guys are out of the woods, of which, yes, out of the woods after that. I can also see that Wayaki, where from ABC Place down towards the west, the mall, Westlands, things are quite hectic on your end as well. Ngong Road, you guys are not looking too shabby this morning. I see that kumeshikana tu hapo kidogo tu as you go towards Prestige Plaza, but things clear out soon as you're out of that conundrum. The same goes for Raila Odinga Road. You guys are looking good this morning. Nothing much to complain about. Jogoo Road, poleni sana, kumeshikana kama kitu ingine. The same goes to Ojijo Road as well. Langata Road pia kumeshikana bumper to bumper. Makadara, I can also see that kumeshikana. Jogoo Road, ni hapo hivyo, Jogoo Road kumeshikana kabisa. The same case is for Mombasa Road as well. Kutoka pale City Cabanas, you guys are looking quite hectic this morning. Langata Road from Dam Estate, your area yote, just immediately you cross out of the Southern Bypass, the traffic jam just begins at Dam Estate, Wilson Airport, down like that. So yeah, you guys, you should be fine. Where else? Wapi kwingine sijasema. Gwinskodhek Road, nothing much is happening on today. It's just a little bit of a snarl up, but things are moving on your end. So in case you see any accidents or incidents, do let us know. The hashtag to use, remember, is hashtag Power Morning Drive. Yes, and we will cruise you nice and easy. Right, let me take a quick breather. When I come back, we get into the day's local and international news roundup. Keep it Power Radio. We'll be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Me, I keep it fresh on. Me, I keep it fresh. Handle can't move.
I come correct, and yeah, my swag so official, like I'm the ref. See, I be rocking Louis, so shorties wanna do me. Have all these haters feeling so underdressed. I see you mugging me, but I ain't mugging back. Cause I ain't got time for your chitty chat. Why you tryna copy and paste me? I'll be with your broad like butter on pastry. She's on my arm like my Virgin Mary. And we be on that weed from early. OG, smoking by the OZ. And all she wanna see is a couple emojis. Well, I got money to blow. And shorty, I ain't tripping, so you already know. Can't moolah all day. If you want it, gon' pay. Hater, I'm just letting you know that
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it
it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Okay, my life is not the same, and I know who to blame. If I remember the name, it sounded something like fame. For the money, for the game, I would kill it. No shame. Rep a crew that's untamed, and I'm a dude that's maintained. Swagger so right as Frank. Funny Benjamin sitting in the bank. What you think? I've been working hard, numbers agree. So please believe me, this is easy, born to be an MC. So I took one Nairobi, the swagger strong only. 24 hours round the clock, Wani. The Levi store know me, big up Ryo and Fuzzy. Now I'm fresh all day, Nikki Chapakazi. Boys be looking at P, this ever slappy, Lucy, Kibaki, LOL. Yeah, I'm only messing, I'm just digging the jam. Bumping it with my fam, Chuck Taylor's helping me stand, let go.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
I said we on to be their favorite. Moolah team pacing. Further than the basement, higher than the spaceships. NASA couldn't waste this, rockets couldn't chase this. Swagger on vintage, African Fresh Prince. Flying like the Jetsons, higher than the Jeffersons. Moving on up till they can't get enough of us. Now we at the top, better use your binoculars. Swagger non-stop is what you do if you have some. And I'm just getting started. Ever seen a Kenyan boy trying to go harder? You gotta work for your profit, cause everybody's trying to get paid in Nairobi. I think your swagger need coaching. Fresh all day, it's all cool by the ocean. Swagging down in South Coast, you could say we coasting. High grade blowing, super flowing. Damn.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Fresh all day, 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 it's all cool. Fresh all day, fresh all day, it's all cool. Fresh all day, fresh all day, it's all cool.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Pawa Radio.
Yes, you have to flip it. Twende biashara boss. Okay, mina biashara. Close in tada. Flow so tight ass Chris Cantata. Young in pala, ass like Prada. Na kama wezi shikanisha basi weni fala. Basi weni fala. Mina enda pale kila kitu dola. President Moi Kibaki wanahola. Naonesha kidole pole. Tubo kubwa kama Rick Ross. Pesa zetu munafanyia what? Kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa maboss. Wacha kuwa Flozz. Ati wasanii wata get ganji 2030. Nitakuwa 54 made under that. Yes, bere tamo huko ashati ya kaki, check karatasi. Kareke. Yeah. Kareke. Mini STL, the bigger, the better. IMC on the mic, come tester. He be a shara, nika M-Pesa. Wesen, tarisi. Naka usend, sikuski. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe, niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe, niye dige hara. Okinyo na hawe, niye dige hara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Biashara ne, biashara. Okinyo na hawe, niye dige hara.
biashara niko busy na mziki ndo wanigrizi na flongine maji utadhani gidi. In other words niko tena jaba juu nilisikia pia kukula main is swag. From the business land Nairobi to be specific, crew get popos not changa illicit. River Road baby, that's where you're gonna find me. I be getting my money fast, calling people hadharani. Niko na M-Pesa cooperative, niko na equity. Pesa ni mengi nimevisha so many na publicity. Paparazzi piga mapicha then tuzione BPC. Dashika mamita busy mejipa juu nimesign na DTP. Be a shower baby, what it do Miss Stella? I'm the man with the power so I make you feel like Cinderella. And I'm making a shower so hope you got your umbrellas. Always be a shower baby Stella, go ahead and tell her.
Biashara ne biashara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara. Biashara ne biashara, biashara ne biashara, biashara ne biashara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara.
Nikiwa na STL unajua grafu wanikali, jumupenda kuchiugamu unaweza nipata hali. Assalamu alaikum walaikum salam, mi upenda M-Pesa pesa pap na M-Shwari. Hasla mbayo pildo kama ndizi, mi pick and peel uyu boy sini mjuisi. Easy, flow cheesy kama tiba na ziko on point ka Abdu Badida. Biashara leta pesa weka deo kwenye mkeka, mina leta heka flow natika Professor Christoph ndo anatesa. Kila time weka pressure pima na tape mesha kula Ethiopia na poebesha. Anapenda Rose na yesi amba ni kama vindio unaweza dhani ni mkamba. Biashara ndo miulamba basi imenifanya mweupe squeezy kapamba.
Biashara ne biashara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara. Biashara ne biashara, biashara ne biashara, biashara ne biashara, ukinyona hawe niye dige hara.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
This is Hendrix Sam.
Misikatai, unanidai, akiwalahi, ninaogopa sitadinai. I want you to lie, ni vile I'm trying to find good love, baby, baby. I'll be the one for you. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. If you wait for me, I don't need nobody else. I'm trying to find good love, baby, maybe, and I'll be the one for you, baby, maybe, I'll be the one for you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Our radio. Tungepatana ukinikata mara moja wezi nitamalaya. And you're telling everybody that this Gucci's on fire. Only fans penye mefika nafungua only fans. Kauna nipenda tu mafea in advance. Penye mefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah, yeah. Only fans penye mefika nafungua only fans. Unanipenda tu mafea in advance. Penye mefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah, yeah.
Hello, ladies blowing up my phone. I keep bien, you are so bomb. Wakituma fea twakuja kwako. From your door, itabidi ukanje ndo tupige show. Ukisikia sauti solo jue ni kubaya. Hii muziki ya Kenya twaipeleka Ulaya. Na temperature inapanda warazi wanakwaya. Tutashinda magrami before tumeretire. Me say only fans walimefika na tambua only fans. Kanika kitu mutumia only fans. Walimefika nafanyia only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah, only fans. Walimefika natambua only fans. Kanika kitu mutumia only fans. Walimefika mutambua only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
Our radio.
Wanipigia sishiki, wanitumia ujumbe sijibu. Sijui ni kwa nini, I wish ningekuwa na majibu. I don't want to disappoint you, so I would rather avoid you. But believe me, I feel you. Na ni kweli ninajaribu, lakini moyo wangu huenda du 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 du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you. But I'm gonna try cool way, yeah, and give a chance cool way, utando lwa mi look away, cool way, yeah, kifuna uko pumelela cool way. Brain goes 100 miles an hour. I think of everything that could go sour. My heart really wants this to work out, and I'm terrified of getting a blackout. Lord forgive me, I have been running away from my true feelings, and it's time to stop being afraid and face my true self. lakini moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, then later I am going to lose you. Moyo wangu huenda du. Every time I think of me and you, I'm afraid that I am going to love you, but I'm gonna try go away, yeah, and give a chance, go away, yeah. Utando lwa miluka away, go away, yeah. Kifuna ukuphumelela kuwe. Try for you, 'cause I'm gonna try for you. I'm gonna give my love to you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome back to the Power Morning Drive Show. This is Wanyoike. You are listening to Power Radio. That is the very talented and beautiful Cyril with her song Kuwe. And I love her voice. I love how she is. I think I would say her storytelling with different African languages is something that really, really inspires me. I find it very cool that she's able to, you could hear even in that song, she was able to spit some Zulu in there, some Xhosa. There's also another song she did called Kasioki. She has it with her. Yeah, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. Now, let's get into some depressing news because this country will drive you up the wall at any given point, but I choose peace. There's a story here on page 8 of the Standard newspaper. Varsity lecturers resume strike, accused state of ignoring them. Now, according to the paper, it says that learning in all public universities across the country has been paralyzed after lecturers downed their tools yesterday. The University Academic Staff Union declared that the strike would go on until the government heeds their demands as stipulated in the 2012 to 2025 collective bargaining agreement. On Tuesday, UASU Secretary General Constantine Wasonga called on the government to honor the negotiated return to work formula, which had numerous benefits aimed at catering to their welfare. So the offer from the government is 4.3 billion is the amount that the lecturers said the government offered them over the 2 years so that they could return to work. And this just comes after, Moi University was locked down indefinitely. Why? Because we do not have public finance systems that, first of all, are clear enough, and we also do not have accountability in these structures. I do not know why in 2024 we are still talking about strikes from lecturers. Today it's lecturers, tomorrow it's going to be doctors, the other day it's going to be nurses. Yet we are talking about a country where 2 billion Kenya shillings is lost every single day to corruption. So if it's a thing of money, we definitely have the resources. Now, whether or not we are accountable with our resource. And I'm glad that we have a development expert today, so that we can get really to dissect this kind of problem later on our conversation today, because it's really upsetting. What do you mean now you see that lecturers have not been paid, so that's a right infringement also on the students as well. There is a right to education. What are you saying about the students who are supposed to be in the school, learning and getting their right to education? So it really affects many things when we do not have proper accountability systems as a country. So I know that the cabinet secretary of education just got into power, but there's a lot of cleaning of house to do for him as well. And so let's wait and see what happens after this. But it's definitely really, really maddening. And I'm so excited that our conversation today is going to be touching on public finance accountability and everything in between. But moving on, there is a story here on femicide. Now, human rights groups have called on President William Ruto to appoint the Cabinet Secretary for Gender to coordinate a multi-sectoral approach to address the escalating femicide cases in the country. Led by FIDA Kenya, the civil society organizations demanded that the head of state addresses the nation on the same, even as they gave him a 14-day ultimatum to direct the National Police Service to issue a comprehensive communique on the status of murder investigations. During a press briefing yesterday in Nairobi, the organizations demanded that President Ruto declares femicide a national crisis and to assure the country of the government's commitment to protect women's rights and public's general safety. And I mean, this just comes after we've seen a plethora is the word I think I would use for today, of incidences of women just being mutilated. We just, I think yesterday was when the 23-year-old Seth, the girl from Kiambu County, Seth, was being laid to rest after she had been strangled to death. And this is just one case. We also witnessed another case, a recent case of a murder of murder by a Catholic nun trainee who was 23 years old. Her body was recovered from a septic pit in Migori County. And so first, I didn't even know that we do not have a gender cabinet secretary. And even if we do, they don't need to exist as something else, like the way we have the Ministry of Culture, Arts, Sports together. I don't think gender should be bundled up with something else, because clearly it's a menace. I also don't get why we have to plead with the president or the government to declare it a national disaster. It is like one too many. If it's numbers that we are waiting for to make it something that can be, responded to quickly, then we are lagging behind as a country. I remember that I think earlier on this year is when we saw women take the streets of Nairobi to march against femicide. And, I cannot say that anything has been done from that. I also don't think that, while I do not diminish the, because it was a political statement, women going out to march there. And of course, I could see that some men also did join in with the women to stand against this femicide. Yes, it was a great representation of, a united voice and standing up for what is right, what is just for the women of this country. But what I want to see is a proper commitment, right? Yes, you can have allyship, but is it committed? So these cases of uncommitted allyship, that is something that we need to start dealing with, and some of the very powerful messages that I was able to see. Well, I was not able to attend the match, but I honestly think it's quite it's really outrageous. We should not be talking about killing our women. We should not be talking about things like why are we finding bodies mutilated? Why is this even a national conversation to begin with? But then again, on the other side, we have to make it a national conversation, which is not happening enough. The only thing that is happening is I was having a conversation with a lawyer the other day, a gender lawyer, and she was saying that some of the reasons as to why these perpetrators get away with the law is they pay off the families of these victims as well. So when we talk about issues around gender and protecting women against all the violence that you can talk about, whether it's FGM, whether it's femicide, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's domestic violence, I think the approach has to be 360 degrees. It has to be legal. It has to be social, where we teach our men to uphold the dignity of men, that the preservation and the sanctity of human life. When you look at a woman, the first thing that comes to your head, even if they've done you the wrongest thing, killing them should not be an option, right? Yeah, and of course, in society, because of patriarchy, because of where we stand, the custodians of power have to be men, unfortunately. So how do we work around that to ensure that we are teaching our men and our boys as early as now for the preservation of women? And again, it's one of those things that I don't even know where to begin, because this is such a layered conversation. But as Pawa Radio, our stance is one. We demand for the government to take up this mantle and figure out a way that we can protect our women and our girls. Let's not hear more cases of femicide. Let's not hear more instances of gender, targeted violence against our women and girls. It's quite the absurdity of it all. It's quite absurd. We need to move on. We need to move on from this and think about better ways of dealing with our problems in this country. Now, crossing borders to our international news roundup. Let me see what is happening. I don't see what is happening. Maybe this is a good place to take a break, and then when we come back, I'll just touch on a quick story, and then we get into our discussion for today. As I had hinted on earlier, today we are going to be talking about development politics in Africa. What is the status of development? As Africa thinks about its economic transformation, what happens in between where we are at and where we need to be? What are the in-betweens? What do we need to figure out as a continent? We will also be looking at things like, international financial institutions, and are they underdeveloping Africa further? IMF, all these big financial institutions, what is their role in, I guess, contributing to the growth of Africa, if at all they're even contributing anything? So my guest is already in studio, and so let's see you on the other side of the break as we get into our day's conversation. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles if you have any questions for my guest. Just off of that the hint that I've given you, you can do so. We are at Pawa Radio across all our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can also find this live broadcast. We're live right now on YouTube, and also on our website, www.power254.org/Pawa Radio. Let's get some music. We'll be right back. Don't move a muscle.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Pawa Radio. Alexis on the beat.
Weka mziki, leo nataka kucheza. Nina mabeshte ndani kwa party, tunataka kucheza. Shida ni mingi, leo nataka kucheza. We just wanna party and enjoy. Leo lazima nyama kwa wingi, ugali kidogo, pombe kwa wingi, chesa kidogo, mapenzi kwa wingi, chuki kidogo, situzitoke mdogo. For the sun fits on us, tujibambe pamoja. before the sun fades on us. Tulewe pombe pamoja. It's all about good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. It's all about good vibes, and inshallah. Mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku tunapare. Mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku si tunapare.
Holla the man them, holla the girl them. What I want every day we do it for the fun them. Sexy ladies in the party, man about money and you know it's an anthem. Give thanks to the Most High. Every day a blessing you see and we multiply. Bigger picture now your good side. A bigger picture now your good side. Jaba kwa wingi ngoi kidogo, usiogope choma foto. Pigia Cindy, pigia Jojo, na tunarudi soko. Cause I know you sacrifice, tujibambe pamoja. I know you sacrifice, situchome kimoja.
It's all about good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. It's all about good vibes, and inshallah. Nina mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku tunapare. Nina mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku si tunapare.
Nina mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku tunapare. Nina mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku tunapare.
Good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. Good vibes, and inshallah. It's all about good vibes, and inshallah. Mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku tunapare. Mabeste ndani kwa gari, kila siku si tunapare.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night.
They call me Chris to the cantata. They call me Chris to the cantata. That's why they call me. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. That's why they call me. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Yo, they say it's hard to compose a rhyme. I say you out of your mind or you full of lies. Then again, you could be the slow kind. I don't see how lyrics don't hypnotize. Why lie? The season has transformed. You got reason to be bored, so now you want more? I'ma serve you flavor that you can't afford. The bill about to get placed on your tempo. So don't even try to resist. Look at yourself bumping to the beat. Get up and get down with a G-twist. Forget the hater cause the fool's not on the list. Dig this, we came and we took over. Got the keys to the ride and we're not sober. We made an oath that we ain't gonna ride for you. So now it's hip-hop, ride us to the border. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. That's why they call me. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. They're taking over my head, dog, they on a hustle. I'm taking over their bread, dog, I'm on a muscle. Try to be cool, but I gotta mumble. Better yet, after that, there's a big tussle. Quit them tears, boy. Dry your eyes, see the G going, cheers, boy. Don't be mad, cause I say that you weird, boy. You kinda scared, so I see that fear, boy. Meditating on a cute shorty. Lean body, mean thighs like the chick bought it. Eyes set real tight like the all assorted. If she arrested my ass, then she got a warrant. I'm a legend in the living, and that's that. I grab objects of vices you can't touch. Read all comprehension is too much. Unawares is words that bring the rap. Let's go. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G. Huni nani G, huni kantai hajali G, huni mtu mkali G, tuliza moto kufani G.
glad that you stopped by. Who are you? What's your business? Bye bye. I hate people that think that I'm on the rise. Yet and still I'm the steel that will not fly. Ask why? I got this even better. On this planet, I teach you before the chatter. What I compose gets better by the day's weather. That's why they call me Chris to the cantata. Huni nani chi, huni kantai hajali chi, huni mtu mkali chi, tuliza moto kufani chi. Huni nani chi, huni kantai hajali chi, huni mtu mkali chi, tuliza moto kufani chi. Yo. 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 That's why they call me. They call me Chris through the cantata.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is Mr. Kantai, who ni Nani G, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. My name is Wanyoike, and I am your host. And as promised earlier, we are about to get into our day's conversation, and my guest is already in studio. If you've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is at Power Radio, you should be able to go right there so that you can see how beautiful my guest is, because she's already here in studio. Yes, and I'm quite excited. But before I let her introduce herself, I just want to, remind you that you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio. Kama uko na maswali for our guest today, we're talking about development politics in Africa. You can do that on our socials at Power Radio across all our socials. Also, you can follow us if you've not yet followed us. Find this broadcast on YouTube at Power Radio and on www.power254.org/Power Radio. Good morning, Miss Esther Wavinya.
Good morning, Anne.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look amazing. Karibu sana Power Radio.
Thank you, asante sana.
It's so good to see you.
Very nice to be here.
We are excited about our conversation, and we were just having a little banter off air, and I'm so excited. You guys are in for a treat, because we just, it's our job to find you quality guests, and you'll know with the time 10 a.m. is reaching, you'll know why I'm calling her a quality guest. So maybe to just get started, you could introduce yourself and all the things that you are about for the one or two people who might not know who you is, and then we get into this conversation.
Thank you so much, Anne.
Yeah.
My name is Esther Wavinya.
Mm-hmm.
I love the name Wavinya because it means a woman with incredible energy, vegan vitality, and that's who I am in a nutshell.
Yes.
I am an expert in development studies.
Mm-hmm.
I did my master's at the University of Cambridge.
Right.
And majored on politics of money and finance. But my background is in international relations.
Yeah.
So it merges with development studies because
Gotcha.
we are all dependent on each other, either as individuals or states. So basically that's my background.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love history
Yeah.
because you need to understand history so that you can understand what is happening in the
future.
contemporary times and also plan for the future.
That's right.
Yes.
What got you interested in the development world?
Basically, when I started, I used to fancy. I have always loved international politics ever since I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah, mimi ni wale wa kitambo sana. So I remember there was a program, I think it was in KBC called Dunia Wiki Hii, and it used to show what's happening all over the world.
Yeah.
And back then, I remember there was a lot of conflicts, a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
There were civil wars happening all over Africa.
Yeah.
And I'll wonder, why will people start killing each other? And then I remember during Saba days when we used to go to school, when it's on the 7th of July, we will see police and the army scattered everywhere.
Wow.
And it used to scare me as a child. I was like, wow, anytime soon we can resent to
Yeah.
chaos, you
Yeah.
know? It takes just one thing
Yeah.
to change an entire nation.
Right.
And with that, I kept on asking myself, what's happening in the world? Why are people not peaceful? And when the white people used to come to church, because I used to go to church back then, I remember...
You no longer go to church?
Yes, I don't. I remember us seeing the white people as the savior. And I was like, but we are all human beings. Why can't we save ourselves? And it's out of curiosity.
Right.
I started reading novels, and you'll see in the novels, like Daniel Steele, Sidney Sheldon, they'll paint the other part of the world so magical.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to witness that magical.
Right.
And when I used to see planes, I'm like, I want to be an ambassador. I want to be part
on.
of the international community.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And things happen. So I didn't manage to go to school immediately after high school. I started my degree at 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Speak to somebody who might think it's too late.
Yeah, it's never too late.
Right.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yes.
I studied it at the University of Nairobi and then graduated with the first class. I was the top in that cohort.
Look at that.
And then I decided, let me go international. And because I wanted to understand, why are we, especially the black people, because I love black, I adore
You're
black.
pro-black.
I am
Blackness.
I am Afro-optimistic.
Uh-huh.
But I realized there's a lot of Afro-pessimistic.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
said, let me search in a book, because it was always said, if you want to hide anything from an Africa or a black person, do it in a book.
In a book.
So I became an avid reader.
All right.
And in that, I realized, everything is not white and black. Everything is...
There are more grays.
There's many grays.
Yes.
There's amalgamation of so many things that make us who we are.
Yes.
And now it helps us understand why we are underdeveloped. And then I used to feel bad seeing my people, because I grew up in Huruma. I used to see people going abroad to do manual labor. And I was like, why can't we have the white collar jobs? Because then the white collar jobs looked fancy.
Yes.
And with time, I realized, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's
so
very
I
different.
delved into the world of international relations and diplomacy, understanding how states relate.
Yes.
And then I decided to master on development
Gotcha.
to understand how development plays in the international sphere. And mostly I looked at the politics of money and finance, and it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy because it will help us understand the financial bill that we had the other time, and why people are protesting, because everything is built up because of the international global financial system and how it operates, and why African continent is a subordinate continent into the global financial world.
Yes.
So those are the things that are getting interested in me. And the reason why I did this is because, growing up in Roma, there's a lot of poverty.
Yes.
Like, poverty is so loud, it can even speak to you.
Yes.
It can even touch you. It can even hug you.
Yes.
And I wanted to understand how come?
Yeah.
And you keep on, right now, you keep on saying the population is growing and poverty is all over. And it's not a unique in Kenya.
Yes.
It's unique across
the
all
world.
African continent and where the majority of black people dwell.
That's true.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's why I decided to venture into this. And also I want to contribute to the epistemic knowledge to ensure that we understand history, we predict what's going to happen if we put some policies, because policies are the ones that are actually draining us. Policies that are put forth by greedy leaders. And a lot of people don't understand when you're choosing a leader, be it an MCA, be it a member of parliament, the president. They need to understand our position in the international global system, especially the financial system, because it is there where a lot of policies are made, and you realize, Africa is supposed to be a raw material producing continent. Africa is supposed to be a dumping site for textile and technological and
waste.
Industrial, anything that the West no longer need. They put it here. I think close to 80%, 90%, I'm not really sure about the number
Percentage
of cars in Kenya are second-hand cars.
Yes. I heard this. I was surprised.
Textile the same. It's not that we cannot be creative and manufacture our things, but we are not supposed to manufacture because documents that are currently out here that were done by the American after the Second World War show that the American interest was more important
than African.
any other interest.
Right.
So they needed every other region to be subordinate to their interest. And that's why you find that Africa is in a subordinate position. And if you don't understand our political play in the international sphere, we will not be able to understand our local play.
Right.
That's why you find that our presidents, all presidents, 54 of them, they'll be told,
go China.
Go Italy.
Yeah.
What does Italy have to offer?
Really?
Italy is a dying country.
Yeah. But they went. They all
go
went.
there.
Yes.
But you know, what we don't realize is African presidents travel as an entourage. The entourage is crazy. They use a lot of money. So that is presidential tourism.
Right.
So 54 of them plus everybody they've carried.
Wow.
How much money is going to be left there?
That we don't have already.
Why can't we decide, this time let's go to Ghana? All the presidents are meeting for their whatever summit. Is it a Chinese summit? Is it a whatever Italian summit? Is it an American summit? Let all the presidents go to an African state and have everything done in the African state so that money can cascade down to even the person in the most remotest area of the world.
Right.
But I don't know what's happening. We are very Afro-pessimistic. We believe in white theology. Let me use that term.
White theology. White saviors.
Yes, because we feel like the white people are the only one who are gonna save us,
which is a problem.
And
it also gets me, thinking about, for example, we just saw the concluded June-July protests in Kenya, that we saw the young people going out to the streets to protest against the finance bill of 2024. One of the days they actually marched to the IMF buildings in Upper Hill, and they were saying, you guys were coming for you are the next ones. And I just want to ask you, from that global finance management system, what are global institutions, financial institutions like IMF, what is their role in contribution? Because I think people think that they are here to help us, but I am of a different opinion. Yeah, so what is really happening, and how can we regulate their, I would say, they have a lot of interference and I would say power in how African governments distribute resources and distribute the economic wealth and transformation. Yeah.
That's a very good question. And when you look at the architecture of the international financial system, that is the World Bank, IMF, and other affiliated agencies, they were formed after the World War II. So, and their formation was to impact the Western world more as compared to the global South.
Yeah.
And with that, of course, it has the US interest in it and other major players from the Western Europe world. And it is during that time they formed a grand area. The grand area is one in one of the classified documents that one of the best critic of the international financial system, that is Noam Chomsky, wrote about it.
Yeah.
The document was formulated to ensure that as Africans, we do not manufacture, we only produce raw materials to continue with industrialization processes in this part of the world.
Yeah.
It was also formulated to ensure that Africans are the consumers of the rejects.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's why you find that we get a lot of low quality products from abroad.
Yeah.
So World Bank and IMF, I can say, and research has it, that they have contributed massively to the underdevelopment of Africa. They've contributed massively to Africa not being able to get to achieve their own goals. Because when you talk about sustainable development goal, you cannot achieve sustainable development goal while the international financial architecture is very still colonial. It's very, very colonial. And with colonization, it's about extraction.
Yes.
So we're still, 2024, we're still living in a world whereby the states, the colonies, the former colonies
are they're not even former.
Yeah.
I keep saying we will never have a post-colonial Africa. It is a colonial Africa.
It is
Africa is a colonial state,
Yeah.
Just that the faces of the the peddlers of this colonialism or coloniality are black. It does not mean that we are post it.
True.
Just on Monday there was a story that came out about state capture, and it was stating all the affiliations or the affiliated companies from the Ruto family, for example, and there are people Akina David Ndi. We also had Gashagwa, and you could see. I know yesterday when we were debriefing, you talked about something to do with public-private partnerships.
Yes.
The same case we are seeing with the Adani deal. We are seeing it's state capture, to be honest. We are seeing a lot of privatization of public entities. Because why are we talking about leasing an airport that is supposed to help the Kenyan mwananchi to do their business or whatever it is that we are trying to achieve? So truly, how do we decolonize development in Africa? How do we?
First of all, we need to, as Ali Mazrui said, because Ali Mazrui wrote extensively on African conditionality and how to get out of it.
Okay.
Remember, the moment we got our physical independence, we didn't get economic independence because we are economically colonized.
Right.
We signed into treaties like the non-allied treaties. We signed into treaties that actually don't favor us. They don't have our interests at heart.
Yes.
And it's so unfortunate that most of the people who were part of the treaties were people who enabled the imperialism to continue taking charge.
Plundering,
in Africa. When you read a book like The Looting Machine, it talks about the extensive plundering that is happening in the continent because we are part of treaties that don't enable us to develop.
Right.
So we will keep on changing names. We started with Millennial Development Goals. Now we did SDGs. 2030 is just here.
We are going to have a new name for it.
We will not have achieved because of the structures. The structures, the international financial system, the architecture of it is still very colonial.
Right.
And there are so many things that have been put forth to ensure that we only produce raw materials. Look at a country like Ghana, Nigeria. Nigeria imports 100% gasoline.
Right.
And it is one of the biggest oil producers in Africa.
Yep. But still,
Africa, as a continent, we import 85% of the food that we eat. And we used to be the bread basket
of the world. Yeah.
But now we are importing. Because what happened is there's a agriculture treaty that was signed in the 1950s when Europe was facing massive food insecurity. So they decided, let's come up with this treaty. And they subsidized their agriculture. So it's easy for them to plant and sell to us at a cheaper price than a local Kenyan or a local Africa selling the same product because we don't have our products subsidized.
Gotcha.
It started with structural adjustment programs in 1980s, and then now they've come up with private-public partnership. And when you look at it, like an example of Dakar, the other time I was reading the infrastructure contribution in Dakar, and I realized there's also a lot of consultancy fees that play a pivotal role in ensuring that if this pen is supposed to be 100 bob, 60 bob goes to the consultancy.
Gotcha.
And so the 40% is what is left for development. And the local government, the local elites also, they want to eat.
In part of that
Crazy
40.
Kane did something of that sort.
Yeah.
But it was just mentioning the locals.
Yes.
So the locals are left with the 40.
Yes.
60 goes on
to personal pockets.
Consultancy, international consultancy firms. Why do we need to have a lot of international consultancy firms working on a project whereby
first of all
they are paid a lot
project.
of money,
yeah.
and they know we are in a debt trap?
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So it beats logic.
It does not make sense.
It does not make
all.
sense at
all. And there's also this idea of imperial pacification.
Yeah.
Could you kindly talk to us more about it? Because I was watching a first of all, these talk shops, they need to stop. World Economic Forum, Davos Summit, all those things, they just need to be defunded, please. Because we are tired of panels and nothing gets done.
Nothing gets out of it.
Yeah.
So imperial pacification is the continuity of coloniality, empires, and also race plays a very vital point in development agendas.
World making, as they call it.
The world making after empires.
Yes.
And with imperial pacification, you find that the current elites, that is the leaders who actually negotiate on behalf of us, they are part of a system that enables imperialists to continue plundering the continent.
Right.
And they do that through policies. That's why they go to the World Bank and say, or UNGA or the World Vision, those Davos things. And it is at that particular moment they sit down and decide, let's do this. But the catch here is Americans, they work with think tanks.
Yes.
They work with multifaceted think tanks.
Yes.
You are knowledgeable in this, you're not. They work together as a team.
Experts,
And they ensure they formulate their policies for the next 50 years.
Gotcha.
In Africa, do we do that?
We don't.
We actually think that we don't even work with think tanks.
It's like we are an outcome of somebody else's planning.
Planning, exactly.
People already know what's going to happen 50 years to come. Us, we are just we are like, what do we call extras in this play, in this script?
Exactly. And that's why we've been trapped in foreign aid. I love how Dambisa Mayo talked about foreign aid. It's actually dead. It will never help in development.
It's not sustainable.
And when you look at research and you look at the trajectory foreign aid has taken, it has never produced anything developmental. It does not help in education. It does not help in health. Infrastructure, economy. It does not do anything because the receivers also plunder.
Right. Yeah.
So we are left in a dilemma of what to do. We have bad governance and then we have imperialism.
So now...
So the combination... The other day we took a loan. We took a loan in February, the Eurobond. To pay the Eurobond, we took in 2014. And the thing here is we actually doubled the interest. It was a double-digit interest. All the big media houses were talking about it. And to the investors, it was a juicy conversation because they're like, oh, we're going to pay this in double-digit interest, which no country has ever done in Africa.
Yes.
So with that, it means we don't have money to develop. How will we develop? That's why you started by talking about the university lecturers
they're on strike.
Where will money for development come from?
If we even just, locally, it's a problem.
We live in a world whereby the African nations are in a debt trap.
Right.
And it keeps on continuing. And remember, these people on the street still, you hear Panama scandal, the Suez, I don't know what and what and what and what.
Yes.
Because everybody who is part of this elitism is trying to also loot for their own personal interest.
Yes.
That is state capture.
Yes.
Profiteering of the private members of the society instead of the public.
Instead of the public.
So I think the solution is we need to sensitize the public. We need them to know that we don't work in a vacuum. We don't operate in a vacuum.
Yeah.
We are part of an international ecosystem.
Yes.
And if we don't elect leaders that are able to forge strong solutions and also detect when we're signing bad deals and sign out of them.
Yes.
It will, but I mean, every leader, I think they are so pacified by the
Westerners, yes, by the West, and this is a good place to take a quick breather. When we come back, I want us to talk about negotiations. How can Africa position itself as an equal partner when it comes to geopolitics and development? Because like just the other day, I just saw that the Africa was put to be a part of the Security Council of the United Nations in 2024, yet the UN presence has been heavy. We even have the UNEP offices headquartered in Nairobi, but we are not seen as an equal partner when it comes to developmental issues as the continent of Africa. We also get into free trade agreements as well, and intra-Africa cooperation, intra-Africa trade as well. And we'll focus and explore how can we leverage on those things that I have touched on to ensure that Africa best positions itself for its forever economic transformation, because clearly the West is never going to help nobody. They were never here to be interested with our welfare to begin with. So you do want to stick around as we get into that conversation. This is the Power Morning Drive Show. Kama uko na maswali tafadhali, ingia pale YouTube, ingia pale Instagram, at me, she is at Wavinya S on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Also me, you can at me directly at Wanyoike on Instagram and at the Wanyoike on the infamous X. We'll be right back after this short musical break. Do not move a muscle. Be right back.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Mighty fingers.
Jazz.
I make mountains out of molehills, and it can be quite the scene. Think about how far I've come and my life looking greater than it's ever been. If I could eat my pie in the sky, it would be just my thing. Sipping on my champagne and my life looking greater than it's ever been. My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. I don't know about my haters, but they should know about me. Keep me humble, oh God. My life looking greater than it's ever been. I overflow flavor. My pockets are full of greed. Even on my worst day, my life looking greater than it's ever been. My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African.
Jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back.
If you jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me back. Jealous, don't hold me, no, no, no. If you jealous, don't hold me back. I'm saying, please don't jealous me. Please don't jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. Please stop jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back.
This is Hendrix Sam.
Hekima mdomoni mwake na uzuri wake wasambaza kote. Heshima kwake ni msingi, akiipeana apewa kwa wingi. Kusu kusu kusu, wivu na wivu, jamaa yake mwendo wake. Kusu kusu kusu, wivu na wivu, jamaa yake. Manzi wa maana ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Kazi zake ni za kuvutia, lote afanyalo afanyia Mungu, na ukweli ndiyo nguvu yake. Maombi moyoni yamuimarisha, na ujali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake hadi wawe. Jali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake. Manzi wa maana ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Maana ni manzi wa Mungu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Henry Mutuku ulinifunza manzi wa maana, ana
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Huyo ni manzi wa maana, na mimi niko pia na manzi wa maana katika studio. Niko hapa na Esther Wavinya herself, that is Fee, and with manzi wa maana, and play right here on Power Radio. We are still discussing political issues. No, not political issues. Global development politics, especially in the context of the continent of Africa. And we were talking about negotiations just before we went on a break. And this is something that I want to throw to Miss Esther Wavinya. When it comes to, negotiations, I think we need to up our game as a
Yeah.
continent. How do
Yes.
we start negotiating as an equal partner in Africa? Because if we are the ones with all the resources, then it means we have a bigger stake, to be honest. Yeah, because what's this guy who wrote How Europe Underdeveloped Africa?
Walter Rodney.
Yes,
Yeah.
he makes a case for that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you find that a lot of people are so economically individualized and they enable imperialism to continue
Yes.
without knowing, because if you are working for these multinational organizations that still plunder the continent, it means you're enabling, and people don't know that they're enablers, because what they want is I want to work for this, they want to flex, I work for this international organization, we do this and this and this, they live a good life.
Yes.
So that is one of the key major problems that we have. And also, African leaders are not yet well developed to work with think tanks.
Aha.
They
So
still-
like on
yeah.
an intellectual
In
level?
an intellectual level.
Okay.
They don't want to work with experts in different areas. They don't, and if they do, you find that most of them are just there because of greedy purposes.
Yeah.
They want to get the per diems, they want to get the exposure
free
of
travel. Yes.
traveling
Yes.
and all that stuff. But they don't want to make,
Do the work.
even if sometimes you find that the think tank that has been elected or selected to work on a particular area, they will actually deliver. But the problem comes in when politics
Comes in.
Most of the time we find that we elect leaders who don't even care about policy issues.
Wow.
They're just there because of, if I'm an MP, how much am I going to get?
Gotcha.
So you find out of 200 and how many people in the parliament?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6 or 7 are ready for change. But the rest are just there to amass wealth, to continue plundering the country and trying to send money away. I think they just want to take everything without thinking about the common mananchi. And one day this ship is gonna sink.
Right.
If you're not right. Because when you go to the communities, people are suffering. People are suffering because government is not actualizing development as it's supposed to be. And also, people who are employed to go and represent Africa in the African Union, in the international organizations, most of them do it for the prestige. You find that there was an article, I think it was written by either Washington Post or I can't really remember well, but it showed how African presidents and their entourage, when they travel, they just go there for fun.
Oh my God.
So when everything is being signed, they're there for fun, or their sherehe, or with their mpango candles, you see, instead of going there to champion and negotiate
for
a good deal.
Wow.
So that's the challenge you're facing. But I believe that people now are becoming conscious, and we need to continue drilling consciousness on whatever is happening.
Yeah.
Because when everybody will know what's happening, and they understand the dynamics of electing a leader, because I don't even blame the leaders. I blame us as the voters.
People,
because we vote them, we let them have their say.
Yes.
When someone is corrupt, we're like, oh, this is my person. Tribalism is disuniting us completely. So we need to go beyond people and start talking about issue. You find our political, even when think tanks are just talking about politics and development issues, they talk about people. They don't talk about institutions. We need to strengthen our institutions, whereby we know even after these people have left, the institution is very strong.
Gotcha.
And that's where America beat the rest of the world. They developed their institutions to a point that anything that happens, the institution
you deal with it from a systemic point of view.
Not from a person
individualistic point of view.
Human beings can be rational and they can still be very irrational
at the same time.
So, and sometimes it's about their interest, it's about their energy, it's about what they want, it's about how they feel. And so we need to ensure that we have institutions, and these institutions are supposed to be governed by people with integrity. But I don't know, sometimes you hear scholars, because there's a lot of research that goes on in understanding why are we still in a colonized mindset.
Yeah.
You realize it's either people are still healing from colonization to a point that they want to replicate the same lifestyle
They do.
the white people did. Because, I mean, when someone is looting everything for themselves,
That's
what are
very
they
colonial.
doing? They are doing what the colonial masters used to do.
Yeah.
And where will development happen?
Yeah, where?
And you find that still people are living in shanties.
Yes.
People are doing manual
Labor.
and whole government employers say that let's build a model to show how a Saudi Arabia household can be. So we've decided our people will always be working. When it comes to division of labor, our people will be doing the
manual work. That we are sending so many young people uko UAE.
Instead of being creative, let's
think how do we, because Africa, by the way, we are the youngest continent.
Yes.
And by 2030, Africa's young population will have already increased.
Completely.
So we are supposed to, these are opportunities that we need to be starting to look at. How can we start leveraging on the young population that we have in this continent? We are not supposed to be sending them out there, yet we have. Even during the protests, I could hear them saying, we don't want to go, you guys don't look for us for jobs. We want to stay home and build home because this is where we want to develop.
Yes.
And so when we're looking at, mindsets and of leaders that think like we're still stuck in the rat race of whatever the colonialists came to establish here, what does it reflect? What does it? I think the word is reveal for you. Like what does it say to you? Like in terms of the kind of people that we keep electing to these positions, and then from that point going forward, how then can we start opening up the spaces? Because even when I look at these rooms, because I read a lot and I watch those Akina Davos and the forums and whatnot.
Yeah.
I barely do I ever see, for example, young people in these, conversations. It's always the same people over and over and over again. And so what that does is that it keeps information, and then new ways and new models and new approaches of thinking never make it to those rooms. So when we talk about negotiations, it's the same people that are negotiating the same way, yet you're planning for a gazillion of generations to come, and you're only going to be there for the next 10 or 20 years. So how do we start opening up conversations and spaces for the next generation, and also hold the door open so that we keep having more and more and more of them? Because I think that's the only way that we can start thinking and reframing the narratives in Africa's developmental politics.
With this, I'm going to use a quote by Picasso when he said, for creation to happen, destruction must happen. That is the first thing. And so what we need to do is, because we live in a very prolonged, chronical way of life and thinking.
It's painful.
So we need to destroy, because I think you've met people here who are like, I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care. I don't do this. Even the last election.
I'm just going to get my money.
A lot of people didn't go to vote.
No.
Half of the registered voters didn't go to vote.
Apathy.
Because people, they are settled. And that's what makes everything the way it is.
It is.
That's why we need to start destroying our way of thinking that has put us into this position. And then from there now, we need to start learning. And also, we need to start it from an individual perspective, because we cannot say the government will do. If we do it from an individual perspective, if we work in developing ourselves as individuals, we will not elect leaders who don't care about us.
Yes.
Because we will be like, I worked for this. I worked to ensure that I get the best.
Yeah.
So it is us who continue. We are enablers to bad governance.
Yeah.
We are enablers to corruption.
Truly.
We are enablers. Look at what China did. In 1980s, China was not where it is today.
It wasn't.
It decided, you know what, we are going to do this and this and this.
And they did.
And they did it in a very authoritarian way, which Americans don't like it, but
Yeah.
you find that democracy is fallacy.
Yeah.
Democracy, if it does not
serve the common good
for the Americans, that's not democracy.
Yes.
Every time you find that an African, also I think another way is to protect our leaders, especially leaders who have vision, to ensure that we keep them safe. Look at what happened to Gaddafi, Patrick Lumumba, Sankara, to mention but a few.
Yes.
I think also there's a fear among our elites.
Yeah.
Maybe anytime they will be decomposed.
Right.
So as of that, you're like, if I don't follow the orders of the international system, I might be decomposed. I'm done. I'll be killed. I'll go the other way. And people don't stand and protect their own. So Africa as a continent, we need to stand united because the Black civilization is the most disunited
civilization
race in the world.
For real though.
Very disunited.
Yeah.
And that's why you find even in America, the land of milk and honey, the Black population are still
very
suffering
ostracized, relegated
abject
from
poverty.
Political, social, economic, anything. They're never. What's her name? There's this author, I forget her name. Toni Morrison.
Yeah.
She says that if you're not white, you're a second-class citizen in America.
Exactly.
And I'm starting to clock it. There's a Kenyan public intellectual, my former lecturer in Daystar. She was called. She's called Dr. Wandi Anjoya. I don't know whether you know her.
I think I've heard of her.
Yeah, she where was I going with this? She talks about how the state is out to milk its people.
Yeah.
Like they, instead of the other way around, the state always has people carrying, like the people are always carrying the bulk of the state, instead of the other way around. And so it's a very unsustainable way of doing things. Which leads me to my next question. So there's this thing called neoliberalism. I keep hearing it thrown a lot. So for somebody who maybe might have had neoliberalism or there's an economist in Kenya called Kwame Owino. He says that free market area in a free market area in Africa, that's a fallacy because we are not just a marketplace. And I think that's one of the ways that the West have been able to just look at Africa as we're just here to be a free market. So whatever and whoever needs to come and conduct business here. And they are very smart with the way, even with the language that they come, the approaches that they use. It's like, innovation, the hub of innovation. We are here to develop your country, and nobody really gets to sit down and challenges and says, okay, but what is really in it for us as Africa? Yeah, so maybe unpack for us what imperialism, neoliberalism is, and also touch on this whole free market Africa place fallacy that I honestly think is a problematic idea.
Yeah, neoliberalism is a continuation of neocolonialism. And the first time it was documented is through the structural adjustment programs in 1980, when Africa was facing economic turbulence. That's when we had gotten independence, and most African countries had gotten independence. And the economic structure was in shambles, because remember, when these people were living, some even blew away infrastructures.
Wow.
Because they didn't want to leave anything for the Africans. And so during that period, we had economic turbulence, and so they formulated structural adjustment program in the disguise of helping us economically empowered. But in reality, it was giving the leeway for the Western industries to get into the continent.
Yeah.
So when you talk about free market, the people like Adam Smith, economists know him. He talks about invisible hand.
Okay.
This invisible hand, they say the market will regulate themselves. The market cannot regulate themselves if policies are not put in place to ensure that the interest of other nations don't overpower our interests.
Gotcha.
But with the structural adjustment programs, you find that there was a lot of privatization from the public to the private. You find that there was tax reforms, and the tax reforms were geared towards helping the imperialists to continue trading with us, for us to continue having the to produce raw materials to the international sphere. You find that they talk about trade liberalism. Trade liberalism, when you look at it in real color, it means that you're allowing foreign investors to come here and even do investment
playground,
basically, that Africans can do. And there's no protectionism in Africa. We just follow whatever is issued to us, and that is under the Washington Consensus. Now the private-public partnership is also another structural adjustment program. That is, they're working with private together with government to ensure that development happens. But in real sense, one of the key scholars on the private-public matters, she's called Gabor. Yeah, she's written,
African?
No. She's from the West, and she's written a lot extensively on the private public partnership and its implication, because you find that we are not able to have equal development. This when the private investors come in, they call for either tax reforms, and those tax reforms are not to help that country. They're to help the private investor. I know private investors it's all about making money, but where is this money coming from? Who owns this money? You find we are termed as a risky continent when it comes to getting loans.
The Africa
and
risk.
We pay premium rates.
Oh wow!
In foreign currency. Like dollar. How do you pay
public debt in the currency of the people?
So it means that we are always in deficit. We are always not able to add value to the international sphere. And it's because we have not reached to a point whereby we formulate a think tank as a continent, as a country, and work in ensuring every policy, every treaty we sign into with the international community helps to benefit our people. But we can never do that, because if I'm given, if the elite people are given foreign aid, what do they do with that money? They take it back through
offshore accounts. Yes,
So,
tu kwao,
and they
Western
spend
countries.
uko. Maybe kidogo atakuja, maybe they do a bit of sijui kutengeneza malls and everything.
Kwao, and then they go.
But we will have a million malls which will not even function if we don't have development, if we don't do manufacturing. The key indicators of a country to grow economically, you must manufacture. You must have technology. You must ensure basic needs are met. We're living in a world whereby still people are not able to meet
food alone.
Do you know
Kenya?
We import 85, according to the United Nations trade that UNCTAD, we import 85% of the food we consume.
Yet we are a producer.
Yet we have the best weather.
Seriously. We have fertile soil.
I
mean, even if it comes to intra-Africa trading, Uganda is a food basket. So we also need to talk about what we are doing in terms of Africa within itself. And I think let's take a break. We come back and talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Wow, guys. This discussion is really opening my mind up. Thank you so much, Esther, for the work that you do. I'm just starting to connect the dots here on why we are in the mess that we are in. So let's take a quick musical break, and we come back and talk about how can Africa start trading with itself. I'm reminded of Pan-Africanists like Kwame Nkrumah, you know, and they seemed like they were just talking, resounding gongs, but really it's a model of philosophies like Pan-Africanism that help us reframe and rethink about development internally as a continent. Keep it Power Morning Drive. We'll see you after this short break.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Just a little bit, yeah. That money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite.
Ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Ogna matinyawa,
just a little bit,
yeah. Ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Nusna matinyawa.
Fresh from the fire, fresh like the sea. Bora uhai, c'est la vie. All of these roads lead you to me. Make me spend all my money for peace and quiet mystery. Forbidden fruit is out of reach. I've got a hunch, a certainty. You make me spend all my money.
Ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Ogna matinyawa,
just a little bit,
yawa. Ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Nusna matinyawa.
A roll of the dice, a slap on the cheek. The thrill of the chase ends in defeat. If we are survivors, then we try harder. Most of my life I've been asleep. Who will I hold? Who will I keep? All of this talk is way too deep. I need to spend all my money.
Ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Ogna matinyawa,
just a little bit,
ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Nusna matinyawa,
just a little bit,
ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Ogna matinyawa,
just a little bit,
ogna matinyawa, yaedo atinyawa. Nusna matinyawa.
just a little bit. That money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. That money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
That is Tetu Shani, and he is playing right here on Power Radio. Now, where do we go from here? What are the opportunities that we need to start looking out for as an African continent? You know, first within the continent itself, you know, and then from that point, how do we go forward to ensuring that we actually are talking about development from from a personal point of view. Yeah.
So with that, I'll go to Kwame Nkrumah. You had mentioned him earlier.
Yes.
He's written extensively on Africa Must Unite, neo-colonialism, and there's a lot of data that and remember it was in the 1960s, 1970s.
Yes.
They've written extensively on what actually goes on. But because Africans, it is said, they don't like reading, we are not aware of what's happening. So a lot of us, we must join hands, we must unite, and we must see beyond just local politics. We must see beyond our tribal cocoons. We need to go beyond tribal lines, race lines. We need to go beyond that so that we unite as a continent, we unite as a people, we unite as a country. And then from there, we will be able now to talk issues. Because currently what we're talking about is people. Our political sphere, our media.
Yeah, our media.
Everything is just about people.
Yeah.
We don't talk about institutions. We don't talk about issues. And it is said, if you want to change, stop talking about people, start talking about issues. Now, when you talk like politics, our president has done this, this person has done that, so it's people. We don't talk about institutions. We don't talk about issues. We don't unite. We don't, even the African free trade area. It's taking time to kick off because even the Africans themselves, they don't want to work together. Everybody is like, I'm Anglophone, I'm Francophone, I don't know what. What phone.
Yes.
But we need to ensure that we unite, and also in our individual spaces, even academic spaces.
Yes.
They contribute, they are key contributors to
the mess that we are in.
No, good revolutions. If you want good revolutions don't have to be bloody, but if you want to change from wherever we are now to get into a very developed state, we need also to use academic spaces to create research hubs, and ensure think tanks, and ensure they're well funded instead of just looting. All this money we are taking to Swiss account, Panama, and the rest, they're supposed to be used to ensure that our research institutions are working. We need to ensure that we are able to have think tanks who will go and negotiate for better deals in the international sphere. Not just going that, I'm at the UN, I'm swinging, I'm the president of Kenya swinging in the Oval Office. What is that?
What is that?
What is that?
Seriously.
It's crazy. We need also to, because I remember when Ruto was coming in, he kept on saying in the Ibrahim Foundation.
The Mo Ibrahim Foundation.
I remember him saying that, no, we will not be going, they will be coming.
Right.
I don't know
how
what's
is that
happened.
going. The other day they were in China. 54 African presidents.
Yes.
For the Africa-China summit.
And they keep on going.
Yeah.
And if it's an African summit, we need to ensure that African summit is done here.
Yes.
And that means that we need to have a lot of people coming together, uniting for the common good of development.
Yes.
And development it's not about economic development.
Yes.
Political development.
Yes.
Social development and every other realms of development.
Right.
So that we will be able to get out of this murkiest whereas we are in.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would your clarion call for Africa's youth?
Unite and stay conscious, understand what's happening. And even ukiwa TikTok, ukiwa anywhere, just understand what's happening. Because anything that is happening in politics will influence your social life. It will influence where you go, how you go, what you do, and everything. It is only the African continent that our passports are valueless because of border controls. And why is so? Because we don't care about ourselves. We don't care about ourselves. And the people who get out there, they go and end up doing manual jobs. You're issued with green card. I have met, because when I was doing my research, I was trying to just have a conversation with a few people who've migrated. And everybody was like, you just come here because of the pound or the dollar, because its currency is way better than ours. And this is because we don't add any value to the international market.
Gotcha.
We are always in deficit. Our balance of payment cannot balance because we just produce raw material, import. But the biggest thing is, how are we importing as a continent? 85% of the food that we eat in our homes.
Imported.
Wow. Imagine if we were able to channel that to ensure that we have sustainable agriculture.
Yes.
But how do you get sustainable agriculture?
Yes.
It's through education.
Yeah.
I hear people quoting Singapore, we're going to be the next Singapore.
Yeah.
Do they know what Lee Kuan had to do to ensure
that Singapore is
if you were corrupt during his regime?
Yes.
There was no negotiation.
Your generations,
there's no
Yeah.
negotiation.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of people. So we need to unite and we need to be ready to destroy first. Destroy our way of life, our way of thinking.
So we can build.
So that we can build and create a more formidable system that will enable us and the future generation.
Right.
That is sustainable development.
Yeah.
But whatever we are getting now, it's sustainable plundering.
Yes, that's
it's sustainable looting.
Right.
Because everybody is looting everything left, right, and center. Even the normal local Kenyan citizen, you will hear them say, when I go to this work, my work, I want to get this. Everybody's, what is it in for me? What is it in for me? Let's look at what is it in for all of us. Because this scarcity mentality, I feel it is a creation by economists, just to show that we have limited resources and everybody is fighting for. Why is it then there are people who are benefiting from it? Why is it that we have a 1% of people who have actually, you hear that someone can own the entire Africa? It's because of the mindset. And I still quote Bob Marley. Emancipate your mind from mental slavery. And remember, Jackson told us they don't care about us. They don't care about us. We need to start caring about ourselves. I think it's Culture or Lucky Dube who also said, they will not build more schools. What they'll build is prison. And what we're saying is, you go to Eastlands.
It's true.
A lot of people, a lot of young men, a man cannot walk. A young boy cannot just walk
aimlessly.
He will go to prison. That you're taking a child to prison, you're introducing them to something different. A child of 15 years, 14 years. And it's because of poverty. Poverty that is man-made. So I urge people, let's unite. Let's stay conscious.
Let's read.
And let's spread the gospel. Let's educate each other. Let's know what's happening.
Wow. Thank you so much, Esther Wavinya. Please, we have to have you come back.
I will definitely come back.
Please come back.
I
always say one conversation is really never enough, because the magnitude of the things that we are dealing with is so complex and intricate, and we need to constantly be on this conversation so that we can get more understanding. Even to the public, and that's why Pawa Radio exists, to just build that gap between those that are never included in these conversations and experts like yourself. So thank you so much for the privilege of your time and for coming on to Pawa Radio.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to having you again and again. And thank you for the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you
in the development world.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and continue doing this. Continue making people stay conscious.
Kabisa.
Thank you.
Amazing, guys. Mimi sina la ziada. That has been Esther Wavinya. As you have heard from her, she said, Africa's youth, you better unite and start thinking about your role to play as a young person, on how you can build this continent further. My name is Wanyoike. You've been listening to the Power Morning Drive show. I will see you on Friday, same time, same place, on our Friday edition of the Power Morning Drive. I will be hosting the one and only Oyamo Richard. He's a poet. He's put together an anthology looking at the finance bill of 2024 and what that means, for us as a country moving forward. So he's put together a book of poetry, just discussing and looking at and exploring the society that we are in Kenya in terms of even what we are talking about here, the finance bill and young and participation in the development of this nation. So you do want to stick around for that as well on Friday from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. In the meantime, Ms. Murota comes in at 11 a.m. with Shiversations. Then after that, we have El Ness herself. She is launching an album today, so we shall be at Mageuzi Hub, live and direct. So today, Gift of Gab is going to be live on location at Mageuzi Hub. If you want to come through, please make your way there as we listen into the album launch of El Ness. We will be there all day. Let's do it for the hip-hop culture. Let's do it for the culture. Kama hauna form, please make your way there. And then come and meet some of your favorite hosts of Power Radio just for a good time. All right. I'ma see you on Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for listening. We will see you when we see you. Bye.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Freshie. We all need somebody that call me, I will come running. Vakoza sama bane dada zimeni bamba zaidi ya wale. Baby, I love the way you're going down. cheza katitu tustikilunda, utapenda nikikuchezea kinanda mama, nitakulinda kama Wakanda forever. Marcelina, sweet Marcelina, isio nimina na inachizisha, tunabaki shingo kupinda, kwanza hiyo rinda ingipiririnda. Freshi,
na ukicheza nitacheza,
freshi,
na ukisonga nitasonga,
freshi, karibia tusakate densi, wacha ikuwe kesi. Na 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 na. Freshi, novu yanzi muhana niko na wewe, sitowaishu kwa moyo wangu na wewe, umenipa pendo tangu jadi hadi wa leo, tumevuka trabo nyingi tukiwa mavileo, sasa wamefuata penzi letu kwa mitandao, tumekuwa mfano wanatangaza kwa redio, penzi letu limepita yote majaribio, mambo yetu hayahusu ndewe wala sikio yo. Hata tukikula chapo mdondo, bado love iko moto moto, maneno tam na matendo bondo. Freshi,
na ukicheza nitacheza,
freshi,
na ukisonga nitasonga,
freshi, karibia tusakate densi, wacha ikuwe kesi. Na 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 na.
when imekatililiwa menza, a superwoman and a wonder woman, na spia ulipeleka wapi ma woman, nataka to hunt to hamerunta, nataka wewe uko kambasam, bia mbili troublesome, toto painting kusota haramu, anafanya Alejandro anataka bambam, lakini uko na tabia weird gani, fan wa Selena na Maria, uongo mkwaju plus bajia, mitam Sunday service lejo Maria.
Freshi,
na ukicheza nitacheza,
freshi,
na ukisonga nitasonga,
freshi, karibia tusakate densi, wacha ikuwe kesi. Na 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 na.
I know you didn't see this one coming. Alejandro, at the band. Unajua ni moto, ni freshi. Karibia tusakate densi.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power